Good afternoon, everyone. It is Wednesday. It is Thursday, January 27th, and those of us who are outside today here in the Chicago area could certainly, probably you could feel the strong sun. The sun is much stronger right now than it was 4 weeks ago. I did not get a chance to see if the ultraviolet index, how that is reflected, but in any case, it certainly feels different. That much I think anyone out here could feel. And that's quite a welcome compared to what we had yesterday, where temperatures dropped, believe it or not, in Aurora, Illinois. This is something that if I had a drum roll, I would play it, but I don't have the drum roll. In Aurora, Illinois, yesterday morning, the temperature dropped to 22 degrees below zero. Thank you, crowd, for that. And the wind chill at that time was 41 degrees below zero. There was some other, Rochelle, Illinois. The temperature was 23 below zero with a wind chill of 40 degrees below zero. In Rockford, Illinois, 18 degrees below zero with a wind chill of 25 degrees below zero. DuPage, 16 degrees below zero. Let's go on to Joliet. Joliet was that city this past summer that had a dew point of 80. Nope, Kankakee was the city that had a dew point of 81 degrees. But Joliet is one of those cities that when during those heat waves, we see heat indices above 110 some of those times when the rest of the Chicago area doesn't quite get into that. Well, Joliet yesterday morning, 15 degrees below zero. Barely any wind, though. Wind chill 17 degrees below zero. Kankakee, the south suburb of Chicago, 9 degrees below zero, with a wind chill of 24. At the official recording station in the Chicago area at O'Hare Airport, 6 degrees below zero, Midway 5 degrees below zero, and the lakefront was missing. The official wind chill was 18 degrees below zero yesterday at Midway. We're also going to mention Valparaiso, Indiana, 9 degrees below zero, with a wind chill of 24 degrees below zero, and many other places also reporting bitterly cold conditions. That was the coldest temperature since the February last year, but the temperature was 7 degrees below zero. It's very possible that last night or 2 nights ago, that is the coldest night for the year. We may not see temperatures that cold until another year. But we have movement in the polar vortex for this upcoming week, and a lot is going on in regards to the development of a midweek storm here in the Midwest. There's a lot going on the East Coast, but if we start talking about that, we will never end. We're never going to end, so let's keep it here into the Midwest. We have the development of potential big-time stuff in the mid part of next week. The moisture available with the midweek storm system is at 250% of normal. That's the PWATS. And there's Arctic air diving southeast, 1,045 MB, which if you have to convert that into the barometric pressure in the mercury in inches, I would say we're dealing with we're dealing with 30.5. I have to think that through more, exactly what type of high we're dealing with, but it is a strong high pressure system, and we're likely going to see a strong low pressure system as well. But one of the things that you could see on the weather map, even these drawn weather maps, is the Gulf moisture. The gates to the Gulf are opening up for next week's system mid part of the week. We see the front south of Miami on Tuesday. That front goes all the way through the Gulf of Mexico up into the Texas area, right through Houston, Texas, into that classic low pressure system developing over in the Oklahoma, Texas panhandle. And you can see on there, in these little maps with the large L, you can kind of include all storm tracks, no matter what the computer models are saying. They're all included in that L as it moves northeast on these little tiny maps. And on Wednesday, you see the low pressure system move well north of the Great Lakes. So it's taking a track through the Midwest. Some area is going to get hit hard, 12 to 24 inches, I would say, 1 to 2 feet with this one. And the likely areas, I guess, Minnesota, places like that. Chicago will probably get several inches from this as well on the backside. It looks like right now forecasters think that initially this storm is going to bring in some warm air. But, I've skipped well ahead of something very significant that's happening in just a few hours. And pay attention to this one. If you live in the local Chicago area, West Rogers Park, pay attention to this. Even more so for those living in Peterson Park, those living in Albany Park, even more so. Those living in Lincoln Park, this is even more so. In downtown Chicago, even more so. And when you get into Gary, Indiana, this is true even more so. We have a couple things going on tonight. Number one, we have a cold front, another cold front moving through the area. Temperatures, if you noticed, actually got warmer today. And we're going to see that's because we're ahead of a cold front. And that cold front's moving through as we speak, basically. We're going to see an area of snow showers that moves through as the front moves through. Maybe some more snow showers as behind the front after the front moves through. Then, now a lot of people don't realize this. Can you believe we have a winter storm watch in effect right now for the Chicago area? Can you believe it? Who knew about this? Winter storm watch from midnight tonight to noon tomorrow. People are like, what? Whoever mentioned anything about a winter storm watch? But this is lake effect snow. This is lake effect snow deal. And with the lake effect snow deal, these things pop up at the last minute, momish, and we have the potential for more than 6 inches of snow. It's very difficult to figure out whether to issue a watch or a warning. And the afternoon shift decided to leave it off for the evening shift. They put the stress on the evening shift a mere hours before. Right now, the watch is in effect again, starting from midnight to noon tomorrow. It looks like areas of northwest Indiana and extreme northeast Illinois, anywhere along the lake shore, especially the downtown area of Chicago southward, could get hit with significant snow, but there are a lot of unknowns. Number one, the fact that there's going to be heavy snow is known. That's known. That's a known fact. There will be snow falling heavily tonight. You know, anything could happen. But if those winds, we're talking about temperatures, the lake water temperatures, 33 degrees, and we have bitterly cold air moving over the lake. And those winds are, for tonight, well, they're going to be northwest winds tonight. And I don't know exactly how windy it's going to be, but we will be seeing some northwest winds. Not northwest winds, north winds. And there actually will be a northeast, component to the wind. So slightly northeast. And the latest computer models are taking this heavy snow band even further west than what it was saying earlier. We're gradually going west. Usually these lake effect snows affect Indiana, not Chicago so much. But this time it looks like parts of Chicago, although parts of Chicago might not get anything. But areas including Interstate 94, Lakeshore Drive, especially Lakeshore Drive, these areas are expected to get, AccuWeather says 1 to 2 inches of snow, but be prepared for more, significantly more. Some areas may get more than 6 inches of snow. The suffix right now is in regards to whether this heavy band of snow is going to become stationary or move, and it might even move quickly. So that's going to make all the difference in the world, and it might even do both. So some areas might get an inch or two. The entire area is expected to get at least a dusting. That's not connected to the lake effect snow. At this point, the snow band, the computer models are taking it far enough west that even O'Hare Airport might even get some of this lake effect snow. Midway, of course, that's closest to the lake. They have a higher chance of getting the lake effect snow. And again, downtown Chicago, people want to be careful if they're traveling downtown Chicago midnight or even later. I think we are going to see a warning or something certainly deserved. I'm getting the word certainly out of this. I think we will see something deserving of a warning happen later on tonight for at least some portion of the Chicago area. This is, I personally think we'll get between a dusting to 8 inches of snow. And I mean, not because of a doubt. There will be areas that will get a dusting. There will be areas that will get an inch, areas that will get 2 inches. I think there will be some area that's going to walk out of this with 8 inches of snow. That's what I think. It's very difficult to forecast these things. We have significant forcing going on in the upper atmosphere, along with instability happening. And you know what instability means? You can listen to the sound effects right now. That is what instability means. But no one's mentioned that. Visibility less than a half a mile at times. Snowfall rates of 1 to 2 inches an hour for those areas that do get this snow. Some are comparing it to whatever happened last Sunday morning. I was not here in Chicago to see that, so I don't really know exactly what happened then. But there is a significant weather event happening tonight, and the next significant weather event happening in the mid part of next week due to one variable I did not mention, a high pressure ridge, a strong one on the west coast going all the way up into Alaska, and then it continues and it dislodges the PV. That's what it says in the scientific forecast discussion. Well, what does PV stand for? You think about it. PV, you know what it stands for? Polar vortex. That's what it stands for. But, so there's going to be something going on with that. The cold air then comes down all the way down south. It's Arctic air, as we've mentioned before, with copious amounts of Gulf moisture. The one thing I've not heard discussed is how intense the low pressure will be. But realize that these low pressure systems tend to get their energy between contrast in temperatures, and we will likely see a contrast in temperatures mid-part this week. At least 70s to the south of the front, and we have that Arctic air to the north. If you want to know really what type of warmth we're dealing with this time of the year, really you have to look at the warmest temperatures in the United States yesterday, which was 81 degrees. If you look on that map, I had a map in front of me just a minute ago and it flew out of my hands, but here it is again. 81 degrees was the high temperature yesterday at Boca Chica Key, Florida. 81 degrees, high temperature forecast today in Florida, upper 70s. That's likely going to be the warmest spot again for today. And we have also something which is something on the map which indicates that we're making progress towards spring, which I'll speak about in just a second. Coldest temperature in the U.S. yesterday, 39 below zero. And this took place in Michigan, and Tom Skilling's doing that shtick again. He doesn't tell us the name of the town. But what he does is he tells us that it took place 1 mile west of Amasa, Michigan. Okay, 39 below zero. And again, there's big stuff going on for the East Coast. Look it up. Look it up yourself. Boston, look it up. Baltimore, Boston. You can look it up yourself to see what's going on. And again, that thing I wanted to mention is that we have, once again, that permanent low pressure that starts to develop in the desert Southwest. It's there all summer long. You can see it on the weather map. It's a little bit further south and west than usual. It's a little bit south of California. In fact, it's even in the Pacific Ocean right now, right off of it's right across from the Gulf of California, a little bit southwest of San Diego. But that low pressure system remains stationary all week. It gradually moves inland by Sunday and situates itself in the classic summer position by Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. It goes a little bit further to the southeast. But I think Tuesday through Thursday next week is going to be something that everybody in the Midwest will want to pay attention to, because it's possible. It's very possible that regardless of what side of the storm you're on, you might be getting a significant winter event from this, either freezing rain, sleet, or snow. Also, some areas may be getting unseasonably warm temperatures from this, as temperatures rise here in Chicago, low 40s, likely into the 50s, 60s, and even 70s when you go further to the south. Lake water temperature 33 degrees here on the Chicago shore, 32 degrees by the crib. Shkia tonight, 4:59 p.m. And again, those who are outside today could probably feel the strength of the sun. And record high, I don't know if I mentioned, 62 degrees today, set back in 1916. Record low 10 below zero, set back in 1955. We've seen 54% of possible sunshine this month from January 1st through January 22nd, and the normal is 40%. And back in the year 2002, from the 1st to the 22nd, we had 6 days of 100% possible sunshine. Anyways, I wish everybody a wonderful night. Have a great Shabbos. Thank you for listening. And a reminder about the storm this midweek. Also, Wednesday is the anniversary of the Groundhog's Day blizzard. And we have another storm developing on that day. Thank you for listening. We're going to put on a nice little song for everyone to hear.